for joining us for practice. This is a sequence today, our practice, that is dedicated to humanity and a sense of rebirth, a sense of taking this time to check in with self and to recognize that every day is a new opportunity to renew ourselves. And the practice of yoga is such a great practice to let ourselves feel that connection. And often we focus in the practice of yoga on the physical body, on the many practices with the asanas, but there's so much more to the practice of yoga. The awareness of the life force of our breath, the awareness of being able to withdraw and come inside and make this connection with the inner world, because we're so bombarded often with the outer world. So when I began to put together this particular sequence, it resonated with the awareness of the vibrations, and with the vibrations, an acknowledgement of the subtle energetic body, which are often described in the form of the chakras. And the chakra is a Sanskrit word that means wheel or spinning disc. And the energy within our physical body. And there are 7 primary chakras along the spine, and there's a primary channel known as a Sushumna that is like a light quarter. That's that awareness from the base of our spine to the crown of our head. And the very base of the spine, in which we might have taken a comfortable seat as we are arriving in our practice, is the Muladhara. And the Muladhara means that root support, and it has an element connection of grounding. So you might imagine these centers of our body at the root of the base of the spine, at the root, the earth, and then just beneath the navel, what we call the Svanasthana, which is the sense of water, and it's a healing space. It's a sense of feeling space. And then just above the navel, beneath the rib cage, is the Manipura, which is the lustrous gem. And that element there is fire. And that's that sense truly of self, of connection, of willpower. And then we kind of come up and we have the heart space, and that's known as the Anahata, or the unstruck sound. And there's a sense of feeling of love and compassion. And then we have the throat chakra, which is the Vishuddha, and it's a purification. Then we have the space between the eyes, the brows, which is the Ajna chakra, which is a sense of seeing, of clarity, of intuition. And then we have the space above our head, which is the Sahasrara, the 1,000-petaled lotus. And I like to kind of visualize that as a connection to something greater, something far more intelligent than we all are. And there's this connection and this stream of energy from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. And we kind of move through these spaces and places, and each of them have their own spinning action and a different type of a spinning frequency. So with all that, this prelude for our practice, it's one that's focused on this movement of energy and the awareness of trying to bring ourselves into balance. So let's go ahead and reset our comfortable Sukhasana, begin our practice by taking that comfortable seat, placing the hands in a way that supports you. Now, your comfortable seat can be in any form. So giving yourself time, check in with the spine. Noticing that grounding action, that connection to earth. And this is that Muladhara, that sense of survival, family, safety, security, all these things that are resonating here at the base of our spine. So give yourself that connection and that sense of connection as you close your eyes and allow yourself to drop in, to make a connection to the inner world. Breathing in and breathing out. We take awareness of the breath, we take awareness of the prana shakti, the breath. With each inhale and with each exhale. And as you're following the stream of breath, as you dropped in to the rhythm of your own breath, can you observe the physical body and release it, relaxing the weight of the shoulders perhaps, observing if you're holding tightness in the hands, if there's an awareness of the next breath flowing in, to take it in perhaps more deeply, maybe change the rhythm, and then letting it release as you're feeling the release, and repeating. To move the physical body is to bring energy. into the physical body, to ask the muscles, the bones, every cell of our body to work together, to create shifts. And every opportunity is an opportunity, an invitation to make changes, to observe. And that invitation for transformation, to let go of the thoughts that no longer serve you, and to allow yourself this moment to simply be. And the breath has begun to change, perhaps. You might have observed the breath has begun to slow down. We check in with the awareness of the flow. We might stay with the rhythm of the flow of our breath. And I invite you to take the next breath in and imagine it's flowing in from the crown of your head, down to the base of your spine. As you let the breath go, it travels up the spine to the crown of the head. And again, we might breathe in. Imagine it flowing, that energy down. Notice if there's any places that appear stuck or feel stuck. And when you exhale, you feel the energy flowing up again. One more round of breath, breathing in, imagining again that energy flowing down the base of the spine. And as you breathe out effortlessly, it flows up to the crown of the head. Take the next breath in. Easy, natural rhythm of your breath. And as the next breath flows, letting that breath fill you, letting it be perhaps a little longer, taking the crown of the head up towards the sky, letting the eyes open for those of us who chose to close our eyes, and then taking our space of our gaze, our drishti, into a spot ahead of us. And then as we take the next breath, we'll raise our hands to the heart, connecting our palms here at the Anahata, the unstruck sound of love, compassion. Let's take a bow into it as we let the breath go, bringing the chin down towards the chest, our gaze to our fingers. And take the next breath, following that energy from the heart towards the sky. We'll lift our hands, lengthening the arms, breathing in. The palms will separate. The palms will then turn out. Exhale a breath, letting those arms reach and expand as we release down towards the earth, chin to the chest. We'll turn the palms, rotating the arms so we can inhale. It's like we could lift this earth energy, moving through that space up again towards the sky. And let's repeat, turn the palms, exhaling. So an awakening movement of the shoulders, the neck. As the chin floats down to the chest, we feel perhaps a nice stretch. Let's turn the palms and inhale, out and up again. We're going to reach to the sky and prepare for an easy turn to the right. As we take a release of the breath, we might spin the spine and release our hands. Now I'm going to encourage us to come moving effortlessly. The right hand might separate, and you might have found your twist with ease right here. Some may have a little mobility in their spine, and they might go, I can find myself moving my gaze, my upper back, my rib cage, while maintaining that grounding, rooted connection of the sits bones to the earth. Let's turn our gaze to the left. Let's feel a breath and let that breath flow start to move the head. We start to feel the awareness of the throat. We can release the shoulder, letting the breath go, release our chin, the gaze to the earth, and return to center, taking that left palm up, sweeping it across, and letting that right arm rise up. And as we arrive here, both palms can turn up. Now, many of us can have tightness in the shoulders, so I like to spin the palms here. I like to hold the arms steady and feel the movement of the arm bones all the way up into the shoulder. And turning the palms back up, lifting a little bit the sternum and opening up that front body. Feel the release of the breath, letting the shoulders relax. And then let's lift the arms as we breathe in again. The side bodies might stretch a little. And we'll bring ourselves into that spinal balance, now taking a turn to that left side. And again, checking in. It might be right here, you're feeling that movement. You might separate the hands, roll to the front of the sits bones, feeling balance in the right and the left. And then using those abdominal muscles to help facilitate, if you choose, if it's there, the stretching action that can accompany the beautiful twist. Let's take our gaze now to the left. Take a movement of your head. The cervical spine now gets that balanced space from the right to the left, left to the right. We're going to release the breath. Take a moment with this nice little chin releasing. Some of us might feel the upper back. Let's come back into center, right palm rising. Left arm is going to rise, and we open up again, opening up through the heart space. Let's take another spin of the palms and rotate, trying to keep the chest lifted even as the gaze comes back to the mat. Draw the low ribs in, feel the connection to the earth, and then turn the palms and the paws. Let's reach our arms all the way to the sky. And on the exhale, hands are going to travel back to the heart space in the Anahata, bringing it right here. And then we're going to change. For those of us in a cross-legged pose, change the cross of our feet. So I'm going to lift up my knees, take a movement, or I can change the cross of my feet. Now, if you're in a pose that was very symmetrical, like on your shins, or if you're seated in a chair, allow yourself to simply shift the hips a little bit, awakening the little Savasana, that flow of water energy. We can bring our hands back to the heart and take our hands back to the sky, taking that breath in. In our sequence, our Vinyasa today, I'm going to bring in Hakini's mudra. So separating my palms, letting the tips of the fingers stay connected. Now Hakini is kind of like taking this globe above us, and we have our fingertips to awaken. I'm going to ask us to tap the fingertips. Not really looking at the hands, but getting a sense of where they are in that space above our head. And just tapping the fingertips on all the little meridian lines, awakening our fingers, our hands, our wrists, even the shoulders. Now Hakini is a goddess who is said to have 6 faces. Hakini means power. It means the rule. And it is said that she lives in the abode right here in the Ajna chakra, that awareness of being able to see, the sight, the awareness of being able to see that light that is within us. And I'm going to bring my hands back down to my heart space. And then as you're here, go ahead and press the fingertips towards each other a little bit. Can you soften the little finger to let it curve a little bit, and then press a little bit more into the little finger and observe the sensation. Some of us might feel it all the way up into the shoulder heads. Just that nice gentle press of the little finger a little stronger. Then we're going to lift those arms back up. Take a breath and prepare to stretch through that left side. Let's exhale a breath and take a little lean over now towards the right. We get a nice stretch. We're going to inhale, separate the palms. Let yourself imagine you have a block you could squeeze. Then turn your gaze to the earth. Let that right hand float down. Let the fingertips or palm make a connection. Inhale, gently press into that right hand. Anchor the left sits bone. And as you exhale, I like the movement of bending the elbow, relaxing that shoulder so you can easily control that nice stretch. Let's take a breath and roll that left shoulder open a little bit. And on the exhale, feel that release, bringing ourselves more deeply. Coming back up into center, we're going to take that breath in. The right arm is going to rise up. The fingertips might connect again and find our Hakini mudra. Feel another breath wave. Draw the navel in and up. And on the exhale, let's take that lean and kind of pause and hold it for a moment. Then we separate the hands. We'll inhale a breath. And then turning the gaze and the pause. Exhale, turn that left palm, maybe fingertips, maybe palm. Press into that left hand gently to anchor that right sits bone, that grounding. Let that left elbow soften, shoulder relax. And if it's there to go more deeply, going into that space. Another breath wave here. You might choose just to roll the right ribs back. And on the exhale, finding that space. Nice. Let's go ahead and rise up now. Inhale. Once more, we'll have the fingers connect in Hakini mudra. And on your exhale, slowly bring the hands on back to the heart, back into the mudra of Anjaneyasana. So it's a beautiful salutation, this hand mudra of Anjali. In our sequence, I'm going to invite us to take an awareness of the heart, because in the awareness of the chakras, we often think of the energy moving up and down, but there's a sense of energy that we let go and that we receive throughout our day. And if we let energy go out too much, we often feel a sense of depletion. When we bring in too much and we're just absorbing everything, we might get that sense of explosion. We're holding too much. So the sense of external and internal, right? And the universe is constantly contracting and expanding, what we call the spanda in yoga. I'm going to take my left hand to my heart, take my right hand, inwardly rotate so we have a nice adduction, and take it behind my back. Now, your right hand might come to the low back, in which I might try to scoot the hand up, relaxing the shoulders, and then we can feel that connection of hand to hand and that space in between. Let's go ahead and go the other way. I'm going to unwind my arms, take my right hand to my heart, bend my left elbow, and then one side might be far more available to you than the other in terms of the bend and the abduction, that inward rotation. So we can press a little bit, just feeling that connection. And then we're going to release it. We're going to let those arms unwind, turn the palms up, Open the throat a little as the gaze comes higher. And then exhale, bring all those energies, awareness of breath back into the heart. Nice, everyone. Let's go ahead and continue to awaken. Come into the pose of Varksasana, which is the pose of tabletop. My knees are going to come up. You might extend your legs, let them wiggle. And I'm going to find my space here with my Sukha mat. So I've got my Sukha mat. Feel free if you've got anything under your knees for support, because we're going to have a sequence that's going to bring us down to our knees. So those who'd like a little bit more cushion, feel free to grab something. Again, a blanket, a space, and then as you set up your tabletop, I've got my knees beneath my hips, the fingers are beneath my shoulders, the wrists, the palms, and I'm going to claw the fingers a little bit today. Just kind of feel that little lift of the middle of the palm, and then pause and try to hug the upper arms towards each other. Then as your next breath flows, feel the gaze shift slightly forward, maybe even up, and then the tailbone's going to lift and we have a nice back bend. Let's exhale from the cow form we created into the cat form. Release the navel, that awareness of the tailbone down, chin to chest, and let's repeat that. Inhale. The ribs might feel a release as the tailbone lifts and the inner thighs might hug. Let's repeat the action of the back bend into the pose of the lift. So here we have the tailbone towards the knees, chin to chest, gaze is soft. Inhale. A sense of the little toes now coming down to the mat. And on the exhale, drawing the navel in and up, creating that space between the vertebra and the posterior of our spine. And the next breath that brings us into a nice neutral spine. We'll let the breath go and prepare to lift our right leg. Awakening the right side as that right heel comes up and the toes are going to turn down. The right leg has gotten nice and long. Think of lifting the right thigh a little bit and then slowly releasing the set of toes of the right foot down to the mat. As you take that connection, press down through the ball of the foot, try to scrub it back a little bit, and then allow yourself to feel the energy through the heel. We're going to shift forward, bringing weight more into the hands, and lighten the toes, and then shift back. Let's go ahead and shift forward, lift up this right leg, and take a moment. Letting that breath go, we're going to bring the knee to the heart. So let's inhale, lift a little higher, and exhale, bring the knee up to the chest. We'll repeat that. Inhale, right leg goes long. Let's exhale, bring the knee up to the heart. Inhale, right leg goes long. I'm going to ask us to pause, point the toes, spin the little outer edge of your right foot down, upper thigh up, and maybe today you pop up onto the fingertips. Maybe your hand to the heart. Think of the right toes lifting and extending back, and then extend your left arm. Take another breath in, and then we'll sweep that left hand to our low back for a moment. Think of heart opening as you shift, bend the right knee. If you choose to bind, reach your left hand to your right foot. Maybe you take the top of the foot and start to hug the heel in a little bit, moving right into the quads of our upper right leg. Sliding the hand up and over to the outer edge will help to open that shoulder and maybe press the foot into the hand. Again, heart coming forward. More challenging even is to take the gaze over that left shoulder. Let's release our bind, taking our breath, reaching that left hand forward, reaching that right heel back. The exhale brings the hand to the mat, releases our knee to the mat. We're going to flip that right palm. Because we had some weight bearing more on the right hand as soon as that left hand lifted, so many of us can even feel a little compression, so moving in a way that's organic. So that when we reset, we can take that same sequence on the other side. Let's lift up our left leg. We've got that reach through the heel. I'm going to try to lift the left thigh, bringing the hips into balance. Take another breath, lift a little higher, and then slowly let the toes of that left foot touch down. Again, you might feel that movement of bringing energy through that back left heel, but think of the toes and even scrub the ball of the foot back a little bit. Then let yourself kind of settle, moving it into a way that you feel it really nicely. We'll shift forward, come light on the toes. We'll shift back. We're going to shift forward, lift up that left leg. Let a breath go. Think of the upper left thigh still spinning up, and then lift again. And then exhale, draw the knee up in towards the heart. And take that left leg nice and long. And exhale, here it is, number 2, maybe higher. We're going to take that leg nice and long, and here we're going to ask the toes to point. And spinning the outer edge of that foot down and brings the kneecap down, takes a nice alignment of the bones. Right hand might get a little light, we might pause here. Right hand might come to the heart space. And from the heart out, we might take that right arm. When we sweep the right hand to the low back, we'll check the sacrum is still balanced, maybe bend the left knee. And these are all great places to pause. You might reach back for the foot. And then you might even hug that heel in. I kind of like to lift the thigh even as I'm taking that hug in. Spin the hand up and over to the outer edge of the foot, and then press that foot into your hand, feeling that movement. Think of the left knee staying in towards the midline. And then as you're ready, let's release it. Right hand forward, left leg is going to go back, and we're going to exhale the right hand. We'll release that left knee, and now flip the left palm. So sometimes I like to flip the palm with the fingers point towards the knees. Sometimes I like to lift and kind of swirl it in a circle, maybe just wiggle the fingers. Allow yourself to come on back. Now in our practice today, we have an opportunity, when I move my Sukha mat back, to take some back bends in our little lunge action. So let's prepare with the Anahata, the puppy pose, awakening some space along the back body. My hands are going to come forward. And I have tight shoulders, so I like to separate my hands a little wider than the shoulders. And then start to bring my heart down. So as we move into Anahata, the puppy pose, we might release the head down and feel really comfortable there. Some of our friends will be able to keep their hips over their knees and then release their chest down, maybe the chin down. Feel another breath. And wherever your pose might be, never forcing. Keeping the feet separated today, try to hug your inner thighs here in and observe any shifts into the low back. And as we're here, chest releasing to the earth, we're going to slither forward into the pose of the Sphinx. So I'm going to lift up a little bit, use the power of my arms, hug the forearms together, release the forearms, and here's that shift forward. And we move right into this back bend action of the Sphinx. We'll try to scrub the forearms back, lift up through the heart, spin the little toes down, rock the hips a little bit if that feels nice. And then we'll find the next breath to draw the navel in and up. And then let the breath go. Let's open up a little bit through the elbows so that we can find a release of the chest down to the mat. Hands are going to come by the chest and then open up. The shoulders are open. We've got the scapula on the back body. And we can exhale and slowly release. We might repeat our cobra, finding maybe the fingertips, using those low back muscles, stretching the front body, exhaling. Option might be to take the cobra again with the palms, fingertips, lifting the hands, releasing. We're going to move to up dog. Heart comes forward. There's this great space of the up dog. Opening up through the chest, lifting, and then rolling up and over those toes. Or perhaps coming to the knees first and moving through the energy to lift into the pose of down dog. As we arrive in down dog, I'm beginning to move my legs, so lifting a heel and bending a knee is walking of the dog to awaken. And slowly start to release those heels back, letting gravity help those heels release. Letting yourself feel the breath, maybe lifting the sits bones and exhaling. Today I'd like you to try to lift the toes of your feet. Think of the heels moving outward even as you are lifting your toes, so those heels are right behind the toes. And then we're going to let those toes set down. Let's gently press the hands down and forward and observe the shift in the chest. Try to hug the upper arms in, and then we're going to lift those heels going really high. Lift the sits bones higher. And on your exhale, slowly releasing those heels back and down towards the earth. Let's come forward to plank pose. Inhale. Throughout our sequence, we have opportunities to move through chaturanga. As we build our sequence, we might take it here. We might bring our knees to the mat. Inhale to cobra or to up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more breath. Again, the heels behind the toes. The kneecaps are pointing down. We got the lift of the sits bones. Our breath will flow in. Our gaze will come forward. Let's bend our knees. Step, jump, float, hop, walk our feet towards the top of the mat. Letting yourself take a forward fold in a way that supports your practice. So a gentle bend of the knees. Still awakening, right? You might be even moving organically here. Prepare for a nice half fold. We'll take our breath in, let the heart come forward. Now hands might be here on the shins, hands might be on the thighs, blocks, or fingertips. Take another breath. And then exhale, hinge again, folding into Uttanasana. We'll gently bend to rise, rooting down, that grounding earth connection, reaching to the sky. And on our exhale, extended mountain to mountain with Anjali. Let's close our eyes, take a moment in our mountain to check in. to feel the breath as waves of energy. The chakras as spinning wheels. Anjaneyasana, Judith would say it's the architecture of the soul, this awareness of the subtle energetic body. And to keep ourselves in balance. Breath flowing in, breath flowing out. A perfect time to set an intention for your practice. A sankalpa. And sankalpas are beautiful, beautiful awareness of our own wishes and our own desires. And as we pause, we notice the rhythm of our heartbeat. We notice the rhythm of our breath. And it sets us. We take this pause to reground us, to recenter ourselves. Let's feel the next breath, open the eyes. And on the exhale, we release our hands with the mudra of Anjali. We begin this week's sequence with a Surya Namaskar A. So let's go there. Let's inhale, circle our arms and reach to the sky. On your exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, nice long spine. Have full inhale, letting that breath flow to lift. Exhale to down dog. So some of us are going to take it through high plank to low plank through this little mini vinyasa. Inhaling up dog and exhaling down dog. And there's the breath. We're going to let it go. And we're going to add on, lifting up our right leg, taking it to the one-legged dog. Sometimes it's called the three-legged dog. We're going to lift up the right hip and we're going to bend the right knee. Let's take a moment to gaze under our left bicep and see the right toes. Try to balance the shoulders. Then press gently through the fingertips. Let's extend this right leg nice and long and feel the hips roll into balance. To build some fire, the Manipura, we bring that knee up to our heart and we have a beautiful plank, high in the back toes. As we take the next breath, the right leg is going to go back up, the heart is releasing. Now the drishti is going to shift, our gaze is going to shift. We're going to bring our shoulders over the wrist, bring the right knee to our heart, place the right foot. I'm going to take my right foot a little closer, like a half inch more, over to the right, rebalance, find space through the heel to the head, and then release my left knee down. So taking time to pause, uncurl the toes, and take some shifts, forward and back. This is the first time we've been in a low lunge in this space, so find some movement organically. Now you'll see I have brought two blocks close by because it's nice to have these props here. They kind of lift the floor. We want to kind of make sure that we're not crunching too much in the low back. So as we are here, I'm going to ask us to pause and then maybe start to lift up a little bit and then maybe sinking, lengthening up through the crown even as we kind of melt into the hips. Now notice the space between your ribs and your thigh and check in with the hips. Root down into the mound of your big toe. Find your drishti for stability. And we're going to lift those arms up towards the sky. And as we lift those arms up to the sky, I'm going to try to melt a little bit more. Spin the little toe down. Hug the inner thighs. And then take my Hakini Mudra and open up my front body. Take another breath. And then as you're here, take a little side bend over to the right. Take a little hug of the inner thighs. And as you've shifted over to the right, we're going to inhale, come back up into center. And on the exhale, a moment to take that right hand to our heart, our left hand behind our chin to our chest. Now, as we're here, I love to come into low lunge, but not in the sequence. A part of that awakening, let's go ahead and bring up that left hip over the left knee. Stretch the right leg long. Lift up through our heart. And take advantage of this low lunge action to move into the runner's lunge and into this like little moment to kind of check in with your hamstrings. We can heart forward, we can release, chest is lifted. We've got the right heel scrubbing to the left knee. So it's really kind of nice to kind of pause in the sequence building to move the body into these spaces that are often tight. So the sets of hamstrings, try not to hyper extend that knee a little bit. Let's come all the way back up. Come on back. Nice. And then we've got that right hand, left hand. Now to move into a reaching arrow from here requires strength and focus. So balance. Curl the back toes under. From this space, I'm going to ask us to take a reaching arrow. We'll power up the left knee. Expand those arms, lengthening them from the heel to the fingertips. And on the exhale, let your hands come to your heart. Anjali. Take a beautiful bow. Now we're going to feel that energy, knee over the ankle, lift the torso, Open the arms, find a beautiful crescent. Take another breath. As you exhale, release your hands down to the mat and move through the vinyasa of your choice. A step back to down dog, knees to the mat, chaturanga, or long legs. Inhale, up dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Feel the breath in. Let the breath go. Let's take it to the other side. Left leg is going to lift. We're going to pause first time with the Hanuman split action of the legs. Then the hip is going to lift. That left hip over the right, but try to hug the right hip back, taking that bend, letting your gaze come under your right bicep. Spread the toes. Shoulders are balanced. Left leg is going to go beautifully long. We're going to roll the hips level. Again, hugging that outer right hip back and in. And then let's exhale, come high on the back toes. Feel the shoulders shift, let the knee come to our heart. Let's take that left leg all the way back up into our Hanuman splits. Our one-legged dog, we're going to step forward, gaze will come forward. We'll step that left foot between the hands. We can then readjust, heart forward, head lifting, right heel pressing back. Take another breath. Engage your core, slowly release that right knee. And again, check for some padding. And then we came here and we said, okay, I walk my foot over to the left. So I have like what's called the railroad track action, which can help us as we take some organic movement. First time, now the right hip flexor might be getting a nice stretch. Oftentimes the left hip will squeak forward, so we kind of want to keep that sacrum nice and balanced. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Let the breath go. And then allowing yourself a moment, I like to place the hands to the thigh, and then there's always a counter energy to press down, to lift up. So while we're intentionally having this space, we're trying not to compress the low spine unnecessarily. So we're going to hug and squeeze the inner thighs, take our breath, maybe start to melt, and then up go the arms. Anjaneyasana. Little release of the little right toe, and then let yourself take a side bend. Hug the inner thighs, pressing into that left big toe for balance. And then we can inhale, open the heart, open the throat. And on our exhale, here's that bow, where we take perhaps the left hand to the heart, right hand behind. But as we did on the right, we're going to do on the left. We're here, so let's go ahead and take time to stretch out that left hamstring. I'm going to bring my right hip over my right knee, maybe inch my left foot forward, bring the toes up. Try not to sickle the foot because that impacts our hip. The kneecap is up. Try to lift your sits bones, and that might be all you need to feel those hamstrings, like a little lift of your sits bones. And then pull, we're going to take our heart down the midline, maybe a little turn to the left, thinking of the head past the toes as the head floats down. Gentle bend in the knee, creating some fluidity of that energy from the heel to the hip, head to the toes. Let's go ahead and come on back up. It's a great stretch. We're going to slide the foot back a little bit, come back into our Anjaneyasana and say, yep, here's where we were. We'll curl the back toes under, power up the right leg. Now know that your hands can come to the mat to support you, of course, to lift you. Let's take those arms long as we feel the breath. Letting the breath go. Keeping the core strong. We'll exhale a breath, chin, hands, heart. Let's lift up the torso, staying deep in that leg, and then hugging the left hip back if it's inched away forward, finding crescent. Breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to release our hands to the mat. Take it back to our high plank, low plank if you choose on the journey to down dog. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Breathe in and breathe out. We like to take this effortlessly. So we're going to move with breath. Repeating that sequence, pose to pose, breath to breath. Let's begin. Right leg lifts, inhale. Hip opens, knee bends, Shavasana. Inhale, the one-legged dog with the right leg high. Exhale, draw your knee up towards your heart, up towards your nose. Inhale, up the right leg, go back up. Exhale, gaze forward, stepping the right, releasing the left, all net release. We'll rise up. Inhale, taking Anjaneyasana. Exhale, Hakini Mudra with a little side bend. Inhale, it's a great psoas stretch. Bring it back up. Here's that movement. Right hand to heart, left hand behind, curl the back toes. Power that left leg, opening the arms to that reaching arrow. Pausing, but having the release of the breath, bring the hands to the heart. And then from the gaze to the earth, to the gaze to the sky, Anjaneyasana. to Crescent. Let's exhale, spin the left heel down, shuffle the right foot in, come into Warrior Two. So we'll add a second series of poses to our practice. We've got this awareness of Warrior Two. I've broadened the stride, right knee over ankle, outer right hip hugging in, arms expanding, shoulders relaxing. Take a breath. Come a little deeper. We're going to move to triangles. Palm's going to turn, right leg's going to go long, gaze is going to come up. Let's exhale to triangle with the left hand behind the heart. So I'm shifting my energy forward, releasing this right hand down. As we roll the shoulder back, taking the gaze up, some friends will have their hand on the shin, on the block, to the earth. Inhale, let that left arm take its journey to the sky. Feel how the heart can come forward, drawing the low ribs in. Feeling a little snug of that right hip, outer out hip in a little bit. And then we'll turn that left palm and take it all the way into Utthita, into the extension of Trikonasana, extended triangle. Let's rise up into reverse. Inhale, reverse triangle, our Surya. Now the hips shift a little bit towards the right. Left hand might slide down, and we feel that great space. I'm going to take my left hand behind today. Awareness of the fluidity. And then exhale, coming back into Warrior Two. Feel a breath. Let it go. We're going to windmill the left arm down and up to Warrior One, the Yoga-Mojo turn. We step the back foot in a little, turn the left toes more forward till they're about 45, and we have our Warrior One. Feel the next breath. As you exhale, reach back arrow. With balance, we're going to spin. We're going to spin the left heel up, feeling the left heel to the crown of the head. And then taking a moment to find your drishti. We'll step onto that right leg. Feel the left leg get engaged as we reach through the heel, bringing our torso balanced, parallel with the earth, and letting those arms go nice and long. Now, many variations. Your hands might be on the floor or on a block. Your hands might be to your heart. Take a breath. Let's exhale, bend the right knee, bring our hands to the heart, keeping your focus, then lengthen the right leg, let the arms go long. Here we go, number 2. Exhale, we're going to bend the right knee, hands to heart. Inhale, we'll let that right leg go long. Here's number 3. Exhale, bend, hug the heart, and then inhale. Feel as though you could fly with that element of the air. Gaze down, hands are going to come to the blocks or to the floor. Left foot next to the right. Shift your hips as you might need as you forward fold, and we're going to rise up, rooting down, reaching all the way out, and then back to the sky. Exhaling our hands to our hearts. Take a breath in. Let the breath go. Let's take that same sequence, other side. Inhaling, extended mountain. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, Urdhva Mukha. Exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg lifts now, inhale. Hip opens, knee bends, Chapasana. Let the left leg go beautifully long. And exhale, draw the knee to your heart. So we're moving with the breath. Inhale, let the left leg go back to the sky. Exhale, gaze forward, step the left foot between the hands, release your right knee. Let's rise, inhale, Anjaneyasana, that beautiful reach. Hakini, exhale, little lean. Inhale, back to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hand to heart, one behind, curl the toes. Breathe in, that reaching arrow. Breathe out, the energy back to self. Inhale, lift up, reach up. And exhale, spin the right heel down. Shuffle the left foot in a little bit and find your Warrior Two. Finding your Warrior Two here. We've got the shoulders and the hips in alignment. We've got the arms expanding. We might come a little deeper. We might try to hug the heels in. Notice a sense of energy up. And we'll take our triangles. We'll stretch the arms to the sky, our gaze to the sky. Our exhale, right hand comes behind, left hand starts to make its journey. Now you might get a sense of a little drawing back of the left hip, but again, everything in balance. When we place the left hand, fingertips, there's often a collapsing in. So I like to take the ribs, think length along the left side, and then open up this right arm. A little rotation of the left bicep, forward and back can bring the scapula onto the back body. Let's turn that right palm, take that arm over the head. And again, we've got a nice extension. When we're ready with that inhale, we're going to rise up. Inhale, we're rooting down, rising up. Hand might come to the thigh, or as we did on the other side, a little bit of awareness behind. Let's come back to 2 as we exhale. Take a moment to feel the breath. Let it go. We're going to turn to 1. A shift, a shuffle, the left foot out, right toes in. And from Virabhadra 1, we'll feel a breath. We're going to exhale. Release our arms back behind us by the side. Spin the right heel so that you've got the hips nice and balanced. We'll move into our warrior 3, stepping onto this left foot, lifting up the right, reaching our arms. Now take your time as you find that space. Breathe in, breathe out. Left knee can bend gently. Then I'm going to ask us to intentionally and mindfully bend that left knee. Bring your hands to your heart. Right heel is very active, toes are down. Inhale, we'll lengthen and fly. Here's number 2, exhale. Inhale, we'll fly. Here's number 3. Inhale, we'll fly. Take a breath. Heel to head, hands to the earth. Foot next to foot. Forward fold. We're going to rise up, gentle bend. Root down, circle your arms, reach back on up. Our exhale brings our hands to our hearts. We're going to close our eyes. Come back to our own inner world. Connect with the rhythm of our breath. So one of the ways to move energy is to physically move. Each of the poses feels different, surfaces different emotions, different thoughts. And the way that we build the Mojo method is to come into each of the poses so we can adjust. Allow there to be the muscle movement, the structure, the alignment that we can adjust, shift, to really serve us. And now we take a moment to pause so that we can take that sequence from the very beginning, linking the right side and the left side, moving in the poses in a way that work best for us, that feel right today and in this moment. Let's open our eyes as we breathe in. Let the hands release as we let the breath go. And work our sequence together, breath to breath, pose to pose. Let's begin. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Half fold, inhale. Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale. Breathe in, open up to up dog. Breathe out and find your down dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Hip opens, knee bends, Shavasana. Let the right leg go beautifully long. Exhale the breath, take core plank, feel the movement and shift. Inhale, strength, right leg goes up. Exhale, gaze forward, set your right foot, release your left knee. Inhale, awaken into Anjaneyasana, Chakini, fingertips. Take a little side bend, take a little pause. Breathe in, open. Exhale, hand in front, hand behind, a beautiful bow. Curl the toes and reach. Inhale, left leg lifts that knee, arms go long. Exhale, we watch as the energy comes to the heart, Anjali. Then we lift our torso, feel the balance, reach to the sky. And exhale, spin, turn, open, warrior 2. We're here for this breath. Let's inhale, take our triangle reach. And exhale, triangle set with hand behind the heart. Turn the gaze up as the arm goes long. Inhale, Trikonasana. Exhale, triangle extension, arm over the head. Beautiful. Inhale, up and over. We let those obliques support us. And exhale, back into 2, preparing to turn to 1. Inhale, shift, turn, reach. And exhale, reach back, spin the heel. We're going to fly. Inhale, warrior 3. You might pause here or bend the knee, hands to heart. Inhale, arms going wide. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale. Nice. Exhale. A lot of strength there. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to the mat. nice and safely, foot next to foot, and fold. We're going to rise up, friends. Inhale, reach to the sky. Let's go right back down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana, half fold. Chaturanga Dandasana, high plank to low plank. Breathe in, follow the breath, Urdhva Mukha. Breathe out, Adho Mukha. Ekapada, one leg, one foot. Chapasana, the sugar cane. Breathe in. Breathe out, Phalakasana, fire, Agni. Breathe in. And breathe out to step the left to release the right. We'll rise up, Anjaneyasana. A little Hakini Mudra. We'll lean. We'll come back up to center. Exhale, hand in front, hand behind, bow. Curl the toes, reach it. Inhale. Gaze comes in as the hands come to the heart. Breathe in, follow the breath. Beautiful crescent. Stability, grounding. Spin the right, shuffle the left in. Warrior two. Let's take our triangle prep. Inhale, triangle reach. Exhale, Trikonasana. Hand to heart, hand to sky. Inhale. Exhale, Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, reaching up, Surya the sun. Viparita Trikonasana. Exhale, warrior two to one. We'll feel the shift of the foot. We'll lift up. And exhale, spin the right heel. Reach our arms back, heart forward. Here it is, Virabhadra 3. Pause and hold, or take it into the bend. Hands to heart. So movement, inhale, goes wide. Exhale, gaze is soft. Breathe in, feel the expansion. Breathe out, we feel that contraction. Let's take it again, inhale. Slowly gaze down, place your hands, place your foot, and we are folding again. We'll bend the knees and rise up. Inhale, reach to the sky. Go right back down, Uttanasana, intense stretch. Ardha Uttanasana, half. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. If you choose, check in. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. I'd love for you to take a nice smooth breath. And let it go. Another smooth breath. We're going to move to the pose of the child. Come forward, come into your plank. Release your knees. Slide your toes in. Take your hips on back. Arms might float back as well. Hands can stay forward. Head's going to release. Taking any form of this pose that really serves you today. You might place a blanket under your head or a block under your head. You might be placing some props between the thighs and the calves. You might choose to take this pose on your back. But take your time. Allow yourself to take a few moments to rest. Child's pose is Balasana. And through the course of this practice, we have moved this physical body, staying with the connection of the life force of prana, moving pose to pose. What I love about the repetition is once we come into it, we're moving with breath, we know we have it in this moment. But everything changes. Everything changes. One of the other inspirations was the what's known and recognized as the Buddhist seals, the 3 seals. And what is that? Change. Change is always there. Nothing is permanent. There's this sense of impermanence, and we can't resist it. We can, but that can bring suffering. And the second seal is that everything is connected. Everything is connected. What happens in one part of the world can have an impact in another part of the world. The vibrations we send out and the vibrations we receive, we are all connected. And the third seal is that everyone suffers. To different degrees and in different ways, but suffering is with everyone. So we can take space here as we rest, as we find the pose of our child. Let ourselves have a moment. Gratitude. Gratitude for what we do have. Breath flows in, breath flows out.
From the pose of the child and those few moments to breathe with ease, I'm going to ask us to take our hands forward if we chose to take the hands back. If our hands were forward, we can allow ourselves to awaken the fingertips. And then making those arms nice and long, keeping the palms on the mat. Try to lift your forearms a little bit, and then try to roll the biceps up towards the sky. And then I'd love for your gaze to lift. We're going to shift forward. We're going to come into a beautiful tabletop pose again and prepare for a forearm plank. So today, we're going to start to bring our forearms down to the mat. And I'm going to take us into a forearm plank first. Then we're going to move into a forearm side plank. I'd like us to take the right leg back, nice and long and strong. And we're trying not to collapse. We're going to try to keep the core strong, low ribs in. Then that left foot's going to come out. And this might be a great space for you to kind of hold, see how the breath is. Then with that right elbow under the shoulder, I'm going to spin to the outer edge of my right foot, lengthen my left arm, and try to stack my feet. Now this can be too much. The hips can totally come down. You might have it here, you might have the foot in front. Then, more challenging is to come onto the fingertips. Hand to the shoulder, hand to the sky. Take a breath. Maybe bring your fingers behind your head and take elbow to elbow. Take a little dip. And then lift up. We'll do it twice more. Here's 2. And we'll lift up. And here's 3. We're going to lift up. We're going to take that arm up. Maybe take our gaze up. Place our left hand down beneath the shoulder. Spin. Awesome. Place your left forearm. We're going to take it to the other side. Right hand might come beneath the shoulder. Spin to the outer left. Right foot in front. Right foot stacking. Hips might come down at any time. Up we go. Fingertips. Gaze up. Arm up. We're not collapsing on that left shoulder. A right hand coming behind. Here we go. Little turn 1. And lift up. Here it is 2. We lift up. And number 3. And we lift up. We go, okay, we take my right arm up. Try to lift my hips higher. Place my hand beneath. Spin. Place my forearm. Perfect. Release your knees. Uncurl the toes. Wow, we're back in our Sphinx. I'm going to ask us to slide the hands back by the chest. Lift on back up. And before we come to standing, I'm going to ask us to step our right foot forward. So if you still have your blocks, feel free to come there. Stretch the right leg and step your right foot forward. Moving into a little twisted monkey. So with the right toes forward, I'm going to turn my right toes out a little bit. And my knee is going to follow that same plane. Then I'm going to place my left hand to the mat or to the block. Bend your left knee. Notice how that feels. Try not to crunch the shoulder. And then lengthen. Bending that left knee, taking our right hand. You might not find the foot. You might find the foot. You might slide your hand up and over, kind of roll to the outer edge of your right foot. You might say, got that. I'm going to try to bring my left heel towards my buttocks. Huge stretch. Release it. Let's place our hands. And then again, we can raise the floor, step the right foot back. Lengthen through the left, pick that same sequence. Up comes the knee, place the foot. You might shift kind of forward. You're going to see me move the block, turn my toes out. And just check in to see how this feels. Nice. Then I'm going to take a moment, take a little turn. Lift up my right. Reach for it. Find that action. Whoa. I might slide my hand up and over and kind of roll to the outer edge of my left foot. You might slide the toes back down or hug that right heel in. Breathe. And release. We're going to take our time. Take it on back. Come back to your tabletop. Placing your hands, setting that left knee. Palms will reset. Take a breath in to curl the toes under, heart forward. Shift your hips on back towards your heels. Begin to lift your knees, lengthening your legs, and release back into down dog. Let's gaze forward, bend the knees, step, jump, float, hop, walk our feet to the top of the mat. Take our forward fold. We're going to bend and rise. Inhale. Up we go. Urdhva Hasta means upward. Hands. Hands come to the heart. Breath is releasing. We release our arms, and as we began, we come back into Tadasana. Nice, everybody. Let's go ahead and take the pose of the year. We're going to find our pose of the year with the feet hip-width distance apart. And as we take the pose of the year, our tree, Vriksha, will step into that right foot, create length. Energy from the ground to the sky. Let's lift up that left knee. We might even take a little hug of our left knee. Take your drishti, find your spot of focus. Find the rhythm of your breath. And as you're opening this leg for your tree, you're going to find a moment where the toes might come down to find steadiness. The wall might be our friend. We can take our left foot into the inner thigh, hug everything in. And then take Hakini Mudra up to the sky. That seeing of that light within, the vision, our clarity, breath. Nice. And then we'll draw the hands to the heart. And today, this week, I've been doing a little Hastapada. So I'm going to take my peace fingers and my thumb of my left hand, take them to the big toe. Right hand's going to come to the waist, and then I'm going to stretch through that leg. Now think of the hips staying very balanced. And if you'd like, open that right arm, open that left leg to the side, breathe. And then bring it on back. Options, knee can be totally bent, you can be holding it here. Awesome, I'm going to let it go. Release that foot down. And let's take tree and the sequence to the other side. Left foot, going to find that connection. Hips are going to try to stay as balanced as possible as that right knee comes up. Some friends might take a moment to bring up this right knee a little higher. And then to create your tree. Create your tree. It's an abduction of that hip. It's a rotation of that femur bone in the hip socket, the acetabulum, so we've got that nice rotation. If you're placing your foot into the inner thigh or along that leg, you're going to hug in. Now, one of the guidelines is to try to avoid the knee directly because the knees are a joint that are kind of complex, so less stress on the knees. Let's take our Hakini Mudra, take it up to the sky. Maybe even take our gaze up. Breathe. Hands are going to come down to the heart. Now you might choose to hold your tree or take a variety of trees. I'm going to take my peace fingers and my thumb, left hand to the waist, extend my right leg, lifting up through the crown of the head as we root down, and then, yep, there goes the leg. Now the left arm might go long as well, so we have a balance on both sides. Breathe. And then we can bring it on back. But ask us to pause, release it. Yeah, let that foot float down and give yourself time. Very nice. I'm going to ask us to come down and have a seat, choosing to come through the mala. So separating the feet a little wider than our hips. And then releasing our hips on down. Your mala might stop right here because you're feeling it in your knees and or your hips, a low back. And that's a great place to pause. If that hip action and range of motion and the ankles and the shins and everything kind of works in a way that allows you to take the tailbone down, feel free to go there. Try not to collapse in, but finding that connection to the outer feet, heart up, mala, the garland pose. Take another breath. And it's intentionally broadening, giving some space into that low back. Let's go ahead and have a seat. Hands are going to come down in a way that can support us. Our legs are going to go long. So this is a sequence that truly awakened our hips a little bit, awakened our hamstrings, finding that movement of energy from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Let's take a moment for the Danda pose, active pose. Toes are going to try to spread, toes are going to come back, heels are going to come forward, legs are pressing down, and move from Danda to Paschimottanasana. Let's lift it up, those arms, take the gaze up, engage your abdominal muscles, and hinge in a way that allows you to keep your spine nice and long and to fold. Pausing, perfect time, friends that are using a strap, to take that strap. Wherever your fold might be, again, we're not forcing, we're letting ourselves float down. Check in, observe that we haven't sickled the feet, because if we're sickling the feet, the knees go out and the hip bones are turned. So we have the knees up, the toes there, the heart coming forward, and then we can rise up. Let's rise up, take that breath in, reach to the sky, and exhale. We're going to move into baby hopper, which is one of the peak poses for this week. I'm going to bend my right knee and cross it on over. Now, one of the nice things is to take advantage of this time to try and move the spine in some twists. So we'll lift up, place the right hand behind. I like to lean back to give myself some space. Lift up the left arm. Whoa, take a turn. Now the right big toe is anchoring. We might take our elbow to the outside. We might hold here. Take a breath and let it go. I'm not going to ask us to take it too long in that twist. I'm going to ask us to unwind, allow ourselves to set, and check in with this left leg. See if you can lift it a little bit, noticing the contraction action. Awesome. Now I'm going to turn because we're going to move into baby hopper. And there's great places to play on this. You can open that knee today and go, I'm going to try to take a little genre Shirsa modified. the weight of this leg on my leg, or you might be placing your hand here, preparing for baby hopper. You might do both. We place our hand, we can rock. So that's one sense. Then as you rock, bend your elbow. Whoa, how does that feel? Then the elbow. And then this action of reaching for the foot. Strap can be used again. You can wrap that strap around the foot, then try to lift your leg. Yeah, see how that feels. So we're going to combine rocking forward, having a lift of our leg, and the hips are going to sweep up and back behind us. So find strength. You're going to have a nice strong shoulder. You're going to lift up this leg, gaze forward, press into this right foot, lengthen, hinge, and bend. Breathe. I like to turn the toes to point forward. Breath in, breath out. Come on back up. Baby hopper. Take our baby hopper. Take this right leg, bring it up, and slowly sit tall. Let that right leg float down. Let's go to the other side. I'm going to hug my left knee in. I'm going to cross it on over. Prepare for the twist. Back hand is supporting. We're going to lengthen up, keeping that natural curve, reaching that right arm, maybe a little lean. Turn, twist, breathe. Moving into twist effortlessly. As effortlessly as we can, never forcing any of the poses. Awesome. We're going to hold that again. As we did on the right, we'll take it here on the left. We've got the space. Now you might say, let me go ahead and open, kind of notice my Anjaneyasana, huge hip action. Or we're going to take our beautiful baby hopper, which is the baby grasshopper. Right hand. We lean. And you notice how the foot kind of comes with you. Then we might reach and lift, kind of lift. Nice. So I'm going to take that together. I'm going to place my right hand, lift, root into my left foot, lift my hips, take my heart forward, use the breath to support you. Breathe. And then slowly come on back down. Now you can of course play with it as long as you like. We're going to take that left leg in. We're going to extend that left leg up. We'll go ahead and bend it and prepare to come down to our back. So take any action that might feel really nice as we prepare to come down to our backs. So you saw that I took just a little Baddha Konasana, kind of opened the back, but then I'm going to prepare to come into just a very short boat ride. So we'll take our hands behind our thighs and lift. And that is because we're going to have another peak pose of Chakrasana, also known as Urdhva Dhanurasana, where we stretch this front body. So here I am, we hold boat, we're contracting. We're contracting to hold ourselves here. Wherever that space might be for you in your boat, you might release, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, just a little engagement, and then float on down. Draw our knees into our hearts. So I know I made some of our friends really happy with that short little boat ride. So let's prepare to take an inversion as we make our descent down to Shavasana. Feet are going to be hip width distance. If you have that block or blocks, go ahead and grab them. And if you're taking your bridge, the block is a great prop because we're going to come in and out of Chakrasana, wheel pose, a couple of times, maybe 3. So those who would love to take bridge, we're going to take our hips up, place this block beneath the sacrum. Feet are hip width distance. If you have a second block, you can even place that block to the inner thighs and give them a great little hug. And that's a great place because you're stretching the front body. You've got a little lift of the hips above the heart, above the head. Or if you're here, this sequence has truly prepared us for Chakrasana. So taking Chakrasana, I'm going to release that other block, take my arms up to the sky, draw the shoulder heads down to kind of protect the shoulders as they're moving in this range. And then you'll see me turn my palms up, bend my elbows, and place my hands. Palms are down, fingertips are towards the shoulder. Now oftentimes elbows go really wide, so I'm going to suggest that you bring them up. That kind of ensures that we're taking this range of the soft tissues of our shoulder and we're not pinching anything. So as we take it here, shoulder bones and the arm bones are integrated here. We're going to find the feet hip width distance apart. And then we start to lift the hips. Then there's this effort of the arms. We press into the hands and we lift up. So feel the breath flow in, let the breath flow out. Try to roll to the big toes. And then slowly bring the chin in and let yourself float down. We're going to go up, let's go up twice more. So here we are, we're here in this space. Our movement into Dhanurasana might be a little lift of the hips, like a little mini bridge, supported. The effortless. Keep your gaze to the sky until that moment when the head releases back. So up we lift, we press, and we have our space. We hug the inner thighs in to decompress the low back. We might shift forward and back. And then, we slowly, slowly, slowly come down with care. We're trying not to collapse on our back. So here we go again, number 3. We'll feel the breath flow in. We'll let the breath flow out. I like to use that breath to lift, 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 and to press, and we breathe. Now, our friends at home, if you'd like to lift your right leg, go for it. If you want to set it down, lift up your left leg. Go for it. Breathe. You want to set it down, take a breath. We're going to hug everything in, release ourselves down, and then counter that by taking the knees into our hearts. If you're in your bridge, totally release it. Take your block out. Allow yourself to come down and give yourself this great hug. Nice. As we're hugging it in, happy baby. As you're taking happy baby, you've got the knees bent, the soles of the feet up, toes are pointing back. If you'd like a little hamstring, you might stretch and lengthen the legs, taking that space. A little hamstring action. And then take that action, bringing the legs in towards each other. And then we'll bind, bending the knees. Now as we're here, let's open our arms. Create some space to take some supine twists. Heart comes up, knees come in. Rock on over to your right. Let your gaze shift to the left. And feel a breath. And let it go. We're going to bring those knees up for that one breath twist. And exhale the breath. Let those knees float to the left, your gaze to the right. And there's a breath. Right shoulder's relaxing. Let's bring the knees back up. Breathe in. Let your arms wrap around those legs. Give yourself the hug. Option. Create that contraction where everything kind of comes in into that tight little ball. And then we're going to let it go. We're going to release. Perfect timing for Shavasana. Set up. Now if you have a bolster, want to place it beneath your knees, go for it. If you have an eye pillow or a blanket you want to place across your eyes, go for it. If you have the shoulders in a way that you can roll them under, releasing. And then finding a moment where you feel your entire back body. And then come back inside and feel the next breath. And let it go. Notice that movement to stillness. The movement of the prana and the movement of that energy. And allow yourself the next breath in. And let it go. Releasing any effort, adjusting in any way that allows you to take awareness of the weight of your body and the stillness of your body and the sense of the body and the grounding into the earth at that Muladhara, and you feel a breath. It flows in and it flows out. And you might imagine in your mind's eye a little spinning ball, a little glowing ball that is red at the base of your spine. And as it spins, as the breath flows in from the crown of your head down into that space, that spinning turns, and this red, radiant energy of the earth flows out and down your legs, into your heels, your ankles, the soles of your feet, the toes of your feet, and you release. And the breath flows in. You might follow that breath down to the base of your spine and then start to make your way up as you let the breath go and pause in your mind's eye, making a connection with the space just below the navel and the space of the Svadhisthana, this emotional warehouse, the space of the hips and the low back, and it is the water element. It is said to be our creative center, our feelings, our emotions.
Let them be fluid, like the water. And imagine these little rivers flowing out from that space into your hips, into your low back, and where you can soften and you can release. And you take a breath. And the energy flows in from the crown of the head down to the base of the spine, that red spinning. We moved up into that Svadhisthana, which is a beautiful orange, a glowing ball. We moved just above the navel, beneath the ribs. Your breath flows in and out. But we pause at the Manipura, the sense of fire. A beautiful lotus is represented here with 10 petals. And you might imagine those petals have unfurled. And the heat that we created is an energy that you can feel, a transformation. That energy, the awareness of the fire, awareness of our own self and our own power, knowing that you are strong. And your breath flows in, and that flows in from the crown of your head down to the base of your spine. And you flow back up through the ball of red and orange and yellow to the space of your heart. Here at the Anahata, the unstruck sound, where the color of that glowing ball is green. It's got a beautiful lotus of 12 petals, and it spins. And the love we give out and the love we can take in. It is the element of air. As you feel that breath flow in again, feel your chest rise. And as you let the breath go, can you imagine like a dissolving into that breath, where the shoulders relax and your arms relax and your hands, your fingers, the palms, all release, whatever they're holding. We take a breath in, we flow down again. We come up through the colors of the rainbow. Now to the throat, to the Vishuddha. There's a vibration here throughout our entire body, and each of these chakras, a vibration of energy. With every mantra, with every word that we think or that we say, allow your throat to be. You feel the breaths flow in, feel the energy and the rhythm here at the throat. There's the rhythm of the breath, there's the rhythm of the heartbeat. It is a brilliant blue, a radiant, brilliant blue, flowing ball. We'll breathe in. Energy flows down again. And it flows up again. Through the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, into the space between your brows, into the Ajna chakra. A 2-petal lotus. It is where these channels of energy, the Ida and the Pingala, on the right and the left, crisscross those chakras beneath them, and they merge here at the space between our brows. And there is balance, and there is sight, and that ability to see that light, and the lights that are there within you. They're the same within everyone. We are all connected. And the breath flows in. As the breath flows out, we come up the spine into the crown of our head in the Sahasrara. 1,000-petaled lotus, that connection to something greater, something bigger. This awareness of this connection to all of us, that we are all connected. And you might imagine in your mind's eye this 1,000-petaled lotus. Some say this is a beautiful violet. Some say it is a beautiful white space of light. And you might focus your gaze on the center of that lotus and watch as this 1,000-petaled lotus unfurls petals in front of you, behind you, to the side of you, always constantly moving, some falling off and others coming in, for it never stops. We focus on the center in that space, and we feel this connection. Feel the breath flow in. Return to the rhythm of your breath. Let the breath flow out. Peace. Calm. A connection to all the centers of the chakras, the subtle energetic body, the mind and the body, the breath and the soul, balanced at ease. Energy flows in. Energy flows out. A journey through the chakras. Breath in and breath out. Allowing the vibrations of the singing bowl to wash over you, to release any remaining tension or tightness. Finding the next breath as it flows in, watching where it travels, and letting it go. And taking the next breath in, and sending the energy of the breath into your own hands, making a connection with your fingers, so beginning to move your fingers. You stay with the rhythm of your breath and you follow the energy down into the toes of your feet. We begin to move the toes. And the breath flows in. We might lift our arms now up towards the sky and reach those arms behind us, bending the elbows as we might like, feeling the ease in which we can take that stretch and that movement. And the breath flows. As you exhale a breath, begin to step your feet in closer to your body, allowing the knees to bend. The arms will lift up now to capture those legs in a way that allows you to take a bind. And as you bind, take a nice rock from side to side, finding that movement of your back body, from shifting energy from side to side. We'll then roll on over to our right side, and in that space, pause. That turn is the way the world turns, so awareness of moving energy off of the heart, taking that grounding space, recalling your own intentions. Let's place our left hand to the mat, give ourselves a gentle press so we can return into our own Sukhasana. And as you arrive in your own Sukhasana, readjust. Take any props, and maybe the eyes are still closed. You should find the center of yourself and bring your hands to Anjali. We take a breath together. Let's inhale. And let it go. A practice, an invitation for transformation. In the closing of our practice, let's take our breath together. Inhale. And let it go once more. And we'll send our own vibrations out into the world. If you choose, the sound of Om on the exhale. Let's breathe in. And we close with Saraswati. Our hands to the forehead. May our thoughts be good, mindful, meaningful thoughts. May we have good thoughts for ourselves and others. The hands towards the lips, the words we say out loud, the vibrations we send out, the ones we say to ourselves, may they be kind and compassionate. When our hands come back to the heart, always, always, we bring the hands here to the heart space. May our own actions be filled with love and with the very, very best of intentions as we all follow our own true paths. Thank you for our practice today. Namaste.